Hey there guys, welcome back to the Photo Video Show where we explore, well, damn near everything really. Today's show, I figured I would do something just a smidge different. I've never done this before, and I figured now's as good a time as ever. And let me know down in the comment section below if you would like to see more of these types of things. What I'm going to do is I've actually taken 5 random questions from people that have asked me questions on the channel or via email or whatever. These 5 happen to be actually from the comment sections on various videos that I have uploaded, so let's start off with the first one. Crazy Swayze asks, I'm just wondering what are those black things hanging on the wall and what do they do? Well, Crazy Swayze, these things that are hanging up here on the wall are acoustic foam blocks. They basically help add a bit of padding, a bit of softening of the walls so that they're not as reflective. If you notice that, like when you go into a real big empty room with no soft surfaces, no carpet or anything, it gets very echoey in there. That's due to the fact that there's nothing there to absorb the sound waves. So even just bare walls in a relatively small room can produce slappy sounds, your voice bouncing off the wall. It just didn't sound all that good. So when you would acoustically treat a room, you eliminate all that crazy sounding stuff that's bouncing off the walls and then back into your recording, which is a total hassle to try and edit around. So it's just easier to spend, $100, $200 to just go ahead and soundproof the room, because in the long run it saves you a hell of a lot of time. Tyler asks, 16 to 70 millimeter Zeiss versus this lens, meaning the 18-105G. Well, Tyler, it really kind of depends on a couple different factors. One being budget. Obviously, the Zeiss lens is going to be way more expensive, and if I'm not mistaken, it's probably, $1,000 difference, somewhere in that ballpark, between that and the 18-105G lens. You're also going to have to look at, is the focal range something that you're interested in? You've got the 18-105 versus a 16 to 70 millimeter. All those things are going to kind of come into play, and obviously the biggest factor is going to be money. How much money are you willing to shell out? Do you want the extended focal range of the 18-105? It's all based on need. It's all based on what you're trying to get done. It's all based on what you've got going on. And realistically, you have to ask yourself a lot of questions anytime you buy a lens. What am I going to use this lens for? What role is it going to serve in my bag? In my opinion, it's all based on what you need, what you want, what you desire, what you are lacking in your camera bag. Ryan asks, which video editing software are you using? Well, I happen to be using Apple's Final Cut Pro 10 or X, whichever one you happen to prefer. I've been using it since it first came out. I was using some other editing programs before that, including Adobe Premiere Pro. It's very unconventional. If you're used to the old Final Cut Pro 7 or Avid Media Composer, anything like that, it's so far different from that for a lot of old school editors, they just couldn't hardly get used to it. I happen to love it. I feel like I'm working more organically now, where if I have an idea, I can just plop it into place, try it out, audition it, just do all kinds of different cool stuff with it. And I can just edit, slice, cut, export, upload, and just be done so much faster. The rendering engine in Final Cut Pro 10 is just stellar, so that's what I use. Ian asks, do you think the 18-105 is too big or awkward to use on a lighter camera body? I currently use the NEX3N, but aiming to pick up an A6000 or better in the future. Ian, I personally think that big and awkward are relative terms. So when I'm doing stuff, if it feels big and awkward to me, it may not feel big and awkward to somebody else. So you really do have to go and test out the gear that you want to buy, or at least buy it, check it out for 30 days, and return it if it doesn't work out. Big and awkward to me? No. I thought that the 18-105G lens fit honestly quite nicely on the A6000, and I know for sure that it fits really nice on any of the A7 bodies. Now, if you're looking to go with something maybe like the Sony A5000 or A5100, it might be a little bit awkward. Any which way it goes, it's a relative term, and I personally didn't find anything wrong with it being on those smaller camera bodies. Gustavo asks, any suggestions on an affordable beginner DSLR camera? Well, Gustavo, it's going to, again, come down to what you need and what you want and what you desire and what your needs and requirements are. A beginner DSLR could range from just about anything. There's a lot of good ones out there these days. None of them are especially bad, I would say. Most of them have got it pretty well nailed down, so it would be always my recommendation to go into your local camera store or your local big box store that happens to carry camera equipment. Get your hands on some of these cameras and lenses and stuff like that. Take a look at it. Feel it. see how it melds with you. I mean, if you can kind of tell if something really feels good or if it's just complete crap in your particular hands. No one else can determine that for you all. So don't buy a name, don't buy a brand. Buy into what works best for you. But as far as recommendations, the new Nikon D5500 is an awesome camera. The Canon T5i is a great beginner camera. You can still find a lot of these types of cameras for, you know, used prices in a lot of different places for extremely cheap. Also, I would highly recommend the Sony a6000. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. Although it's not technically a DSLR, it is in fact a mirrorless camera. But any of the big brand name options are really very good. Anything that you get over and above, say like cell phones or point and shoots, the sensors are going to be bigger, and the image quality is going to be better, and your lens choices are going to be infinitely better because you can now interchange those lenses. So just be sure to stop by one of your favorite stores and check them all out, and only you can determine what's going to work best for you in your particular situation. So there you guys go. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like I said, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share the video on the internet, and if you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave those down in the comment section below, and I will potentially feature your question here on the show at a later date. I'm also going to be starting to use Snapchat in some of these questions, so if you want to leave me video questions, I think that would be pretty cool as well. So here is my Snapchat. Make sure you check that out and leave me a message. Sounds like someone's doing it right now. At any rate, guys, thanks again for stopping by here at the Photo Video Show. I'm your host, Mark Puckett, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. Peace.